This is Micro Equity Sense, and before we begin, I want to say that this is just my thoughts on Bitcoin and a couple of other virtual currencies. I am in no way telling you to buy or sell securities, blah 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 blah, all the usual disclaimer. So this is just for my thoughts, and you can do whatever you want, after you watch this video. Okay, so again, I'm a traditional markets trader, but I have been dabbling in cryptocurrencies for 3 years now. And again, um, I just want to put this out right now. It's very cool to day trade virtual currencies. Are they going to be the future? I have no idea. Some of you definitely believe it, and some of you don't. There's never anyone I've met that is in between, in the middle ground of this. Do you either are a believer of Bitcoin or, altcoins, or you're not? Okay, so everybody's been talking about this huge, possibly inverse head and shoulders on Bitcoin. So if you know your technicals, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I just talked about, you probably should go and get a book or go to a website and learn up your patterns and stuff. So if that does happen, we'll probably have a retracement back to 12.5 or even higher. You see these little red bars there, red lines there that indicate possible levels upwards if we continue to go higher. Okay, so I'm not a technical analyst, okay, and I'm also not a technical trader. So again, I trade on momentum. So I'm not one of those guys who went from who come from the stock market or the traditional markets world who's just purely technicals. I'm not one of those idiots. I don't trade technical. Being the technical, you will never meet just a purely technical guy who is extremely rich or is a billionaire. Those guys never make a lot of money. These technical people, they never make a lot of money. So again, if there's momentum on this, probably goes up to 1400 or 14,000, all the 17,000. Again, if you believe in that, great. I just want to warn you guys though. There's a lot of idiots who who are stuck up here, right? So there are people, and if you say I'm wrong, you know those people. I have a lot of friends who are stupid enough to be buying here, 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 here. Okay, you want to know where I started buying Bitcoin? Around here. Okay, it was last year, 2017. I was buying around here. For sure, we had clients at Equity Sense who were buying down at 500, 400, 300. I even know Bitcoin since it was 50 bucks, right? And I said the same thing to clients before. Not really sure if it's going to take off, but use your extra money to gamble and see if it will take off. Some folks who bought below $500 sold it at $2,000, thought they made a killing, making 400%, and so on and so forth. So it wasn't until probably July, August where it looked like it was definitely going to take off with all the talk about blockchain and all that crap, and it kept going and going and going. I sold all of my coins around 10,000, and then it's basically it. So from 10 grand all the way to 19, I was just day trading this. I wasn't doing anything. I do not hold any Bitcoins right now, nor do I hold them, do I plan to hold them forever. I really don't know where it's going to go. And as far as whether I'm a believer or not, I could care less. Like I said, if it is going to be the future later, I don't mind buying Bitcoin 100,000 if it's going to be the future. But yeah, so it is what it is. So I'm just here to talk about my thoughts on Bitcoin and where it could go, and of course maybe I'll look at Ether as well. So again, just looking at where it is, if it goes up. But I want you guys to remember that there's a lot of people who are trapped up here, right? A lot of people who bought here, here, here. I know a guy who bought at 17,000. He's still holding, or whatever you guys call it now, hodling or hodling or whatever it is. They're holding. So it's just funny. So I guess time will tell if they're going to be right, and Bitcoin is definitely going to retrace back up. But over the course of the last 2 weeks, it has been extremely boring to trade Bitcoin because it hasn't been as volatile as it used to be, right? This was the kind of volatility I loved, before February, but now we're just kind of just stabilizing, I guess, if you like, between 9,400 and 1,200, 9,400 and 12,000. So again, still remains to be seen where this market is gonna go. I basically use Bitcoin trading as, I guess, if I'm having fun trading normal futures and forex and stocks, this would be basically like the hobby to my hobby. It's just the icing on the cake, really. If it works, great. If it doesn't, doesn't. But ultimately, again,
it is what it is. We do feed, all the data from Kraken to our trade algorithm, and we give signals to clients who are in a virtual currency membership, uh, whatever that is they want. So whether it's Ether or OMG coin or whatever, even Dogecoin, we get that. So um, again, I don't know if there is going to be that sort of push to the upwards, but up to the upside. But if it is, there you go. The Bloomberg did report yesterday that the volume in Bitcoin has actually slowed down in terms of trading. So it makes sense because again, the market is kind of slowing down, right? Maybe they're waiting for something, but in a market so volatile as cryptocurrencies, you guys have to be very careful. Um, I'm sure, like I said, some of you really don't have any idea on how to manage your risk, but it's really important you guys are aware of where things could go. Um, Ether again, it's the thing that I've always kind of liked about trading virtual currencies is that they usually just follow Bitcoin and Ether again. It looks like if if Bitcoin is gonna lose some luster, I think it's gonna do something crazy and horrible. So permit me something that will probably piss a lot of you off. If they are gonna make what looks like head and shoulders, right? We talked about inverse head and shoulders you know, on Bitcoin earlier, but if they make this inverse head and shoulders, there's gonna be a crash all the way down to I don't know, $600 on ETH USD. If that does happen, be very ready. Um, that's not going to be good for anybody if that does happen. So be very careful. If it does go down there. I mean, for you guys who are bulls, I hope I'm wrong. Pray that I'm wrong. That it's not going to happen. It's going to just keep going up and going to the moon, as you guys always call it. But if that does happen, at least you heard it here that it's possible that it could happen and retrace back to 600. If it does, I'm just gonna laugh, I guess. If it doesn't, then you can have the last laugh, I guess, and you can just say that guy's an idiot. So think it's not gonna work. So be very careful if it does happen, guys. You never know, right? You never know. So then, last but not least, we have Litecoin. Not really doing much as well. The last 2 weeks, it's just been screwing around between 240 and 185. So yeah, it's just pretty boring, really. So the setup here, don't know where it's really gonna go. Um, if this was like a normal stock chart, basically this would be like it's just consolidating and you don't know really what's gonna go. I'm sure if you follow or watch other people's wonderful technical analysis, they'll probably tell you it's gonna go higher, blah blah blah. But don't think so. Um, Again, Ripple. I'm not a big Ripple fan, but if you were able to cash in on this stupid idea, then you probably did very well. But for us, we've told, and I'll share the same idea with you. We've told clients that we don't think it's ever going to go back above $2 at all because again, it's being controlled by banks anyway. So really, if you guys are very hardcore Bitcoin or altcoin fans, you shouldn't be buying something that was made by the people you very well bought Bitcoin to go against, right? So if people are buying Bitcoin or going to Bitcoin to go against the establishment, then why would you buy the establishment's coin? Kind of just tells you the same thing. So it looks like it's exhibiting the same sort of pattern as Ethereum. So it could probably go down to 60 cents probably. I'd like to see this go to zero actually, just to piss all the banks off. They're just trying to like screw everybody over by getting them into Ripple, but you know, read the white paper in Ripple. If you don't read it carefully or if you don't understand it, probably talk to somebody who understands it. It's really important. So yeah, so there's a lot of things happening. So make sure you're very well aware, of where uh, where these things are going. Um, but overall, again, the market is in an interesting sort of space right now, and you have to be very careful with the levels that you're looking at. Okay, so if you're new to virtual currencies and you definitely need a more experienced help with from through a mentor or something, we're here. Um, Again, we're traditional market traders who've been trading for at least 13 years, traditional markets, futures, forex, and all that stuff. So it's it's still the same thing, really. I mean, I understand this stuff too. I'm a technology guy, so but
who knows where everything else will turn, if virtual currencies are definitely the future or whatever. But for me as a day trader, I'm just happy day trading these things, where I can. They're very simple and very easy to keep track of. So again, keep an eye out, and hopefully everything works out. And if you are really crazy long on Bitcoin or everything else, thinking it's definitely going to be the future, then I really do wish for the best for you, and I hope you will become a billionaire and buy the Lamborghini, right? And show off to your friends that you're super rich. Okay, so good luck, and thanks for listening.